Pope Francis held his weekly talk with pilgrims at the Vatican, and he honored an Italian priest who was murdered yesterday.
Testimone della carità verso i più poveri.
The Holy Father asked the faithful to pray for Father Roberto Malgesini, who was stabbed to death in Como, Italy. The priest was focused on helping homeless people. Pope Francis praised the 51-year-old's witness of charity toward the poorest among us. Hannah Brockhaus, senior Rome correspondent for Catholic News Agency, joins us now. Hannah, welcome back. So can you tell us a little bit more about what happened to the Italian priest and what the Pope said about him?
Well, Tracy, Father Roberto Malgesini was a priest of the Diocese of Como, and he was well known for his care for the poor, for the homeless, and for immigrants in his community. He was, yesterday, September 15th, leaving his parish in the morning to go serve breakfast to the homeless when he was stabbed by an immigrant that was known to him, someone he had helped, a 53-year-old man from Tunisia, who is known to have some mental issues, and this man later turned himself into police for the stabbing. Obviously, the community of Como has been mourning his loss, and Pope Francis joined them in mourning the loss of this priest at his general audience address. He asked people to pray for the priest, but also to pray for all religious and priests and lay people who serve the needy and those rejected by society.
Hannah, what else did the Holy Father have to say at his weekly talk today?
He is continuing in his catechesis his theme of healing the world after the coronavirus. So he reflected principally this week on the contemplation of nature and creation, which he said is very important for learning how to also see the beauty in our fellow human beings. So he encouraged people not to exploit creation, obviously, because he said often people who exploit creation also are led to exploit and use their fellow man. That was the crux of his message today.
Hannah, do we know what's coming up on the Pope's agenda?
Well, one important thing that's coming up soon is October 3rd, Pope Francis will be traveling to Assisi, Italy, where he will be signing the third encyclical of his pontificate called Fratelli Tutti, which means all brothers in Italian. However, it will be retaining the Italian title in all languages, so it'll be known as Fratelli Tutti. And we found out today that the release of the encyclical will take place on October 4th. Which is the feast of St. Francis of Assisi. The theme of this encyclical deals mainly with human fraternity and with social relationships. Other than this, we don't have a lot of information, but it's a highly anticipated document, obviously, and it continues that Franciscan theme that we saw with Pope Francis and his second encyclical, Laudato Si.
Hannah, I want to quickly turn to the pandemic. Has the Vatican returned back to normal activities yet?
Things are not completely normal, but we are seeing a slight return, I would say. The Pope is beginning to meet with groups of people that had been on hold for quite some time. He's also resumed having pilgrims at his Wednesday audiences. They aren't in St. Peter's Square, but they're in an interior piazza of the Vatican. So we are seeing little pieces of this return to normal, if you want to call it that. Unfortunately, other things such as international trips of the Pope, we don't know when those will return, but little by little we are seeing some normality again.
Well, Hannah, thank you so much for your time today. We really appreciate it. Hannah Brockhaus, senior Rome correspondent for Catholic News Agency. Thanks again, Hannah.
Thanks, Tracy.